There is something ancient living inside you, something that has been there since the very first human walked the earth, something your mind knows about, but refuses to speak aloud. You wake up every morning, believe you are kind, you believe you are rational, you believe you are aware. But what if everything you think you know about yourself is just a story, very convincing story that you have been telling yourself for your entire life? What if the real version of youth, one hiding beneath all the layers, something far more complicated, far more dangerous, and far more interesting than the version you show the world? This is not a self-help story. This is not a motivational speech. This is not here to make you feel good about yourself. This is something different. This is a deep descent into the shadowed corners of human behavior, into the parts of the human mind that nobody wants to talk about. In the daylight, when no one is watching, once you hear what comes next, you will not be able to go back to seeing the world the way you saw it before. So take a slow breath. Listen carefully, because what you are about to discover has been hidden in plain sight your entire life. Let us start with the one thing humans protect most fiercely, the belief that they are free to choose, free to choose, free to think, free to be whoever they decide to be. Is a beautiful, ideal, most entirely false. Think about the last decision you made, something you were proud of, something you called your own choice. Now, ask yourself honestly, where did that choice come from? Was it really yours, or was it shaped by the voices of people who raised you, by the fears you developed as a child, by the culture you were born into, by the invisible rules of the social world around you? Because here is what the science of human behavior keeps discovering over and over again. Most of what humans call free will is actually a very elegant kind of autopilot. Your brain is running programs installed in childhood, programs reinforced by every experience you ever had, programs you have never even looked at, let alone questioned. Your brain has one obsession, one single obsessive question that it asks in every situation, every room you walk into, every conversation you have, every decision you face. The question is this: how do I survive this moment? How do I stay accepted? How do I avoid being rejected or humiliated? Not what is the right thing to do, not what is the true thing to do, just how do I survive this? And because your brain is asking that question in the background at all times, most of what you do is not actually chosen by you, is chosen by that fear, by that ancient animal hunger to belong and to be safe. Have you ever noticed how your personality shifts depending on who is in the room around certain people. You shrink around others. You expand around some people. Your voice changes your opinions, change your sense of humor, changes even your values. Seem to bend. That is not weakness, that is conditioning you. We're trained by every experience, every moment and reward, every moment of rejection and acceptance to become someone who fits in, the terrifying thing. The thing most people never stop to examine that this training happened mostly without your knowledge. You did not sign up for it to, did not agree to it to. Were simply shaped, slowly, quietly, over years and years, until you became this version of yourself that you now call me and you. Never even noticed it happening here is something that will make you uncomfortable. Most people do not actually want the truth when they say they want honesty. They mean they want honesty that feels comfortable. They want honesty that agrees with them. They want honesty that confirms what they already believe. Real honesty, the kind that cuts through illusion, the kind that says what is actually happening. That kind of honesty most people find unbearable, and here is why the human brain evolved to survive in social groups for thousands and thousands of years. Being rejected by the group meant death. Being cast out meant you were alone in the wilderness. Sunned alone in the wilderness meant you would not survive. So your brain learned something very important. Early in human history, being accepted matters more than being right. Being liked matters more than being truthful. Fitting in matters more than standing out, and that ancient survival programming is still running inside you right now. Watch what happens when someone lies in a social situation. They do not lie because they are evil. They lie because the truth would create conflict. Conflict feels dangerous to the brain. Watch what happens when someone agrees with an opinion they secretly disagree with. They are not being weak. They are following a survival program that says agreement means safety, disagreement means danger. Watch what happens when someone pretends to be someone they are not, just to fit into a group. They are not being fake. For the fun of it, they are doing what their brain tells them is necessary to avoid the unbearable sensation of rejections. Social approval is more powerful than logic, more powerful than truth, more powerful than morality. The cause, the level of the nervous system feels exactly like physical danger. Your body cannot tell the difference between being rejected by a group and being chased by a predator. Both feel like a threat to survival, so people do not act real. They act acceptable. They perform, and the performance is so convincing, so well practiced, most people forget it is a performance at all. They start to believe that the maskis that face this is perhaps the darkest truth of all land. It is the one that most people resist the most violently. When something terrible happens in the world, when someone does something monstrous, the first thing most people do is distance themselves. They say, "I could never do that. I am not like that. There is something wrong with those people. They are evil. They are broken in ways that I am not." And that distancing, that need to separate yourself from the darkness is completely understandable, but it is also completely wrong, because the research into human behavior, the deep, uncomfortable research, keeps arriving at the same terrifying conclusion. Ordinary people, normal people who love their families and donate to charity under the right conditions, capable of doing things they would have once called unthinkable, not because they become monsters, but because the situation they are placed in becomes more powerful than their personal morality power. Does this give someone authority over others? And watch how quickly their behavior shifts. Watch how quickly the empathy fades. Watch how quickly justifications appear for things that were previously unjustifiable. Group pressure. Does this surround a person with others who are all doing the same thing? And watch how the individual conscience begins to dissolve. Watch how the person starts to follow even when following leads somewhere dark. Fear. Does this put a person in a situation where they believe their survival is at stake? Watch what they are willing to dodo people they would have once called innocent. Here is the most uncomfortable part when asked about it afterward. Almost everyone gives the same explanation. "I had no choice. They deserved it. It's just doing what anyone would do." They do not say this to deceive you. They say it because they genuinely believe it, because the human mind, once it commits to an action, has an extraordinary ability to create a story that makes that action seem reasonable, necessary. Even righteous morality is not a fixed thing living inside you. It is not a permanent, unchanging core. It is situational. It bends with the context, shifts with the pressure, and the moment you truly understand that about yourself and about every other human being on this planet, the way you see the world will never be the same again. Kindness is real generosity, is real love, is real. Do not misunderstand what comes next, but underneath even the most beautiful human gestures, there is almost always a layer that nobody talks about. When someone helps a stranger, they are often also doing it because helping feels good, because it creates a sense of being a good person, because it produces something warm and satisfying in the brain. When someone donates to charity, they are often doing it because generosity earns respect, because it creates a story about themselves that they find comforting, because it feels better to be the kind of person who gives them, to be the kind of person who does not. When someone supports a friend through a crisis, they are often doing it because they need to. Believe they are a loyal person because the thought of the friend suffering creates an internal discomfort that helping them removes this does not make the kindness fake. This does not make the love false, but it does mean that the line between selfless and selfish sins far blurrier than we like to admit. If the most pure-looking acts of love are often also acts of self preservation of identity, protection of comfort, seeking the parent who sacrifices everything for their child is also the person who cannot bear the thought of being the kind of parent who did not sacrifice, the activist who fights for justices. Also the person who needs to feel that their life is meaningful. Loyal friend who shows up during a crisis at 3 in the morning is also the person who needs to believe they are the kind of person who shows up. Self-interest and genuine care are not opposites. They are woven together in almost every human action. The person who claims to be completely selfless have no hidden motivation, no personal gain from their generosity, either a saint or they have not looked deeply enough at themselves. You are being evaluated constantly. Every moment you are in the presence of another human being, your appearance is being scanned, your body language is being read, voice is being analyzed, a judgment is being formed, not slowly, not carefully, not with patience or generosity, seconds, sometimes in a fraction of a second. Your brain and every brain around you is continuously running a very fast calculations. This person safe or dangerous? Is this person powerful or powerless? Is this person worth my attention or not? Him. Once that initial judgment is formed, something deeply frustrating happens, becomes almost impossible to change. Human brain does not like to be wrong. It does not like to update its assessments. It prefers to find new information that confirms what it already decided, and to dismiss or reinterpret information that contradicts it. So, if someone decides in the first moment that you are confident, every slightly awkward thing you do afterward will be explained away. If someone decides in the first moment that you are weak, every impressive thing you do afterward will be minimized or ignored. This is why confidence beats competence in almost every room. This is why the person who speaks slowly and with certainties trusted more than the person who speaks quickly and nervously, even if the nervous person actually knows more. This is why appearance influences respect. This is why silence is so often misread as weakness. Stillness is so often misread as coldness. People do not see who you are, they see what they assume. Most of the time, they never go back to question the assumption. The need to belong is not a small thing. Light is not a mild preference. It is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology, and it creates something that most people never want to admit about themselves. When everyone around you believes something, you are more likely to believe it. To not because you examined the evidence, not because you thought it through, but simply because everyone around you believes it. When everyone around you is doing something, the pressure to do the same thing, even when you privately know it might be wrong, becomes almost physically overwhelming. Standing apart from the group, holding a different opinion, being the one who says, "Wait, I think this might not be right," that takes an enormous amount of psychological strength, more than most people have, because standing apart from the group does not just feel uncomfortable, feels dangerous. At the level of the nervous system, meet triggers the same alarm signals as physical threat. Your body wants you to fall back in line. Your brain wants you to find a way to agree, because agreement means safety, and safety means survival. This is how ordinary people end up participating in things they would never have chosen individually. This is how intelligent people end up believing things. This is how kind people end up being unkind. When the group around them normalizes unkindness, the crowd is not always wrong, but the crowd is often not thinking it, is feeling it, is following it, is doing what feels safe, and the person with the courage to stand outside that flows, one of the rarest things in human experience. Here is a truth that history has demonstrated over and over again, in every civilization, in every era, in every culture, across every part of the world. Power does not change people. Power reveals them. When someone is powerless, they are performing a version of themselves that is shaped by necessity, by the requirement to cooperate, to be likable, to be acceptable, to survive in a world where they need others. But give that same person power, real power, the kind that removes consequences, the kind that means other people must cooperate with them instead of the other way around, and you will see something different emerge. The filters come down, the performance stops, and what remains is closer to the core. Some people become more generous when given power, because generosity was always their instinct, and powerlessness was what suppressed it. But many people become something else entirely. The ego that was always there, but carefully hidden, begins to speak. The need for control that was always lurking beneath the surface begins to act. The hidden contempt for others that was carefully masked by politeness and necessity begins to show. Watch how someone treats people who can do nothing for them. Watch how someone behaves when they believe no one important is watching. Watch how someone uses authority when they know there will be no accountability. That will tell you more about who they are than any conversation you could ever have with them. This is the one that most people feel in their body when they hear it, because most people have lived it, and many are living it. Right now, humans are drawn to what is familiar. This sounds harmless until you realize what it actually means. If chaos was familiar in your childhood, you will seek out chaos in your adult life and call it excitement. If emotional unavailability was familiar, you will be drawn to people who are emotionally unavailable and interpret their distance as depth and mystery. If criticism and conditional love were what you knew growing up, you will feel strangely comfortable in relationships where love feels conditional, where approval must be earned, where you must constantly prove your worth, because that feeling, as painful as it is the feeling your nervous system learned to call normal. The brain does not seek happiness above all else. It seeks familiarity. It seeks what it knows, even when what it knows is painful, even when what it knows is slowly destroying you. And this is why people repeat patterns even when they can see the pattern clearly, even when they name it out loud, even when they have been in therapy for years examining it. The nervous system keeps pulling them back toward the familiar pain and away from the unfamiliar peace, because unfamiliar peace, no matter how beautiful it looks from a distance, feels wrong, feels unsafe, feels like something that cannot possibly last. And so the cycle continues until something breaks the spell, usually through tremendous pain, or through the kind of deep sustained awareness that is the hardest work a human being can ever do. Everything you have heard in this hour is not just a description of other people. It is a description of you, of all of us. Every single truth that was spoken here lives inside you. To you are influenced by your environment. You are shaped by your conditioning. You are vulnerable to group pressure. You are capable of self-deception. You judge quickly and change your mind. Slowly, you are drawn to familiarity even when it hurts you. You are performing a version of yourself for the world, while the real version waits quietly in the dark. And here is what matters. Knowing this does not make you broken. Knowing this makes you awake, because the moment you see these patterns clearly is the moment they begin to lose their power over you. You cannot fight what you cannot see. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. But the person who looks honestly at these dark truths about human nature, about their own nature, and does not flinch, that person has something that most people never find. Clarity, real clarity, the kind that lets you see manipulation before it reaches you. The kind that lets you make actual choices instead. Of just following the programs, the kind that lets you step out of the crowd and stand still in the storm and know exactly who you are. The dark truth about human behavior was never meant to frighten you. It was never meant to make the world feel hopeless. It was meant to do one thing: wake you up, because the person who is truly awake cannot be controlled, cannot be deceived, cannot be turned against themselves. And that kind of freedom is worth every uncomfortable truth you had to face to find it.